Hey everyone, CPO here, and today is a good day. Today is a dyno day. So yeah, I'm loading up the back of the 2019 Golf R with some necessary items. I've got a couple of cans of E85, and then I've got an empty can so I can suck the current 93 octane out of the car after we do a first dyno run. Then I'll put in E85 and do a second dyno run on E85. So these are both EQT staged 2 tunes, and we are going to see what kind of power these cars are making. So it'll be interesting to see. I'm curious to see the comparison between the 93 octane and the E85 on my car. I know there's some theoretical numbers, but I'm curious to see how it works out on my car. Before I get going on this thing, I'll just give you sort of an overview of the build as it sits right now. I am running, like I said, EQT staged tunes. I have an IE V2 cold air intake. I have an MST turbo inlet. I've got the RS 7 plugs, the NGKs that everybody's apparently breaking, but so far mine are working great. I have a Revo intercooler. It's a chassis mount, so it replaces the factory. I don't think you can see anything down there. Downpipe is a Miltech with the HJS 200 cell high flow performance cap. Right now, motor mounts are stock. That shouldn't impact me too bad. I do have some 034 Motorsport mounts coming. They'll be here next weekend. So yeah, what else? I think that covers it, right? Am I missing anything from a performance perspective? I don't think so. Yeah, I just wanted you guys to know where I'm at. I am running a aftermarket exhaust now. I don't know if you saw that video, but I've got the AWE Tuning Track Edition exhaust. Yeah, I think that's it, really. Oh, also, I did go ahead and pull the back seat because right in here on the Golf R is the Haldex controller. That's what this cable's for. So I'm going to unplug the Haldex because we're doing this on a 2-wheel drive dyno. So pulling that Haldex plug is going to allow me to run it without the rear wheels engaging. Again, E85, I've got these VP Racing fuel cans with this long easy fill spout, which is kind of cool. I like that. Yeah, I have a battery charger just in case. Because I'm going to be using the factory fuel pump, the low pressure fuel pump, to pump out all the old 93, and that's going into this empty can using a variety of this, and I've got this adapter here, which will allow me to plug right into my system. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right, guys, let's do this. All right, so question, how many of you actually knew you could do this? Check this out. Window up. Yeah, I forgot to roll that one. Boom. Oh, you want windows down, you said? Let's do it. All the windows down. If you did not know you could do that, and you want to know how to do that, let me know. I'll share. But yeah, I don't want the windows down. I want the windows up. All right, so I met my buddy Mike out at Trilogy Performance, where we both got some runs in, and myself, I got some back-to-back runs in, one with the 85 and one with 93. To do this on a 2-wheel dyno, I unplugged the Haldex underneath the driver's side rear seat. That gives me the best chance of having success on a 2-wheel drive dyno without any weird software glitches, which I've seen happen in the past. So, Trilogy Performance in Tampa, we get the car on the dyno. It's a dyno jet, and so like I said, I'm going to do 2 runs. The first run is a 93 octane stage 2 from EQT, Equilibrium Tuning, and then I'm going to change fuels, and then I'm going to do an E85 run. Same tune, just for E85 fuel instead of 93. So yeah, it didn't go as smoothly as I would have liked it to. We had some issues with the car downshifting on the operator, and largely in part because of the kickdown switch. So a lot of challenges there about getting full throttle without hitting the kickdown. It is what it is. The best run at 93 octane that I was able to get was 338 wheel horsepower and 354 max torque. I think there's more torque in there, but he was having to ease into the throttle to keep it from kicking down, and that left us at a higher RPM range than I think where the peak torque is in this car. By the way, did you see all that motor shake at the end of the run? This, ladies and gentlemen, is why I'm upgrading my motor and transmission mounts. Oh, you wanted to hear that run? Okay, here you go. All right, once we got a decent 93 octane run in, I pulled the car into a bay and swapped fuels. Now, I'm not going to go through all of the details of how I made the swap from 93 octane to E85 in this video, but I did make another video that goes through the entire process from start to finish. So I didn't see any need to repeat it here. Go watch that video. I'll put a card up in this and I'll put a link in the description of this video. But just know, got rid of all of the 93, put in about 10 gallons of E85, and then went and drove around the block a couple times, and my ethanol levels ended up at about 70, E70. And yes, I also changed tunes to my E85 off-the-shelf tune from EQT. So got all that done, and then while I was doing that, my buddy Mike actually was doing his runs, and another friend of his also. And so this is Mike's car. It's a GTI with a IS20 turbo, also running ethanol. And he got some pretty hot power out of this in very consistent runs, 344, 345 for the horsepower, and about 420 to 430 on torque. Really good runs for him. Of course, he has a manual, so he didn't have the same DSG challenges I had. So then I get back on the dyno and do some more runs with E85. And this was primarily to see, again, the difference with my car. How much horsepower gain do I get? And we were able by then to sort of figure out the DSG nuances and actually feel like we got a pretty good run. As a matter of fact, you can see here where Dwayne was sort of pointing out the telltale torque hump that we were seeing when we were getting the full torque value at the RPM range. So that 402 is legit, and then maximum horsepower ended up right at about 380. And that's with a little bit of heat soak and some pretty nasty density altitude. It was hot and humid. All right, so here's what ended up being the difference between the two runs. The top one is the red run. That is the 93 octane tune. That was 338 horsepower and torque at 354. Again, I think we might still be a little bit low on that torque value. Matter of fact, we don't get that hump. We go straight into it, which is a sign it probably was a little bit higher at a little bit lower RPM. And then, of course, with the E85 tune, it ended up 380, 3799 at a max torque of 402.7. So I still think we probably have a little bit more torque out of it, given better cooling and just overall conditions. It does tell me, though, I am getting some heat soak between runs. I lose about 5 horsepower from one run to the other, whereas Mike, he has a different intercooler, and he was getting consistent numbers run to run. So I've got something in mind for that. And yeah, I think I'd like to come back when it's a little bit cooler and see where we can go with this. But this is sort of a baseline run, just more for interest to me, to see, how the numbers shake up, which actually are not too far out of line from what I would have expected. 340 to 380, I've got about 40 horsepower gain just in changing fuels alone. And then, 45-ish foot-pounds of torque, probably more closer to 40 if we got the actual correct max on the 93 tune. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with these numbers. And the good news is this is just the baseline. It's all going up from here. I've got more fueling mods, more turbo mod. I've got more cooling mods. So yeah, more to come. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch you on the next one.